FM en aanlyn by bokradio.co.za.
Dit is Bokradio 989 FM in die Weskaap, wêreldwyd bokradio.co.za. Wat 'n groot oomblik en the recent 45th anniversary of Kiss You All Over. We are so honored to have legendary band member of the legendary Exile here on Bokradio, Marlon Hargis. Thanks so much for being with us here on Bokradio. I'll say good afternoon from our side, but it's morning in Nashville.
That's right. It's 8:30 in the morning here, and it's good to be with you. I don't know about using the term legendary. We've just been around a long time, but thank you for that gracious introduction.
You're most welcome. You've been extremely busy since 2019, before and during the horrible pandemic. But first, 60th anniversary of Exile. Congratulations. How did this happen?
That's a good question. When we all first started playing back in 1963, actually this is the 61st year, I don't think we even thought, maybe 5 years ahead. We were just young teenagers playing music and having fun and wanting to meet girls and all that sort of stuff. And I think at a certain point, after a few years, we started to take it very seriously. And we're trying for some success and regionally, and then finally in the late 70s we had national success and international success. So but looking back on it, it's really hard to believe it's been 61 years. I mean, in a way it seems like yesterday, in a way it seems like forever. So yeah, it's just we're very lucky and very blessed to have survived when not many bands survive that long, and we're lucky, and we're thankful every day, and we enjoy still working every day. So that's a good thing.
Wonderful. We are happy. Between the late 1983 and the early 1988, you charted 10 number one singles on the Billboard Hot Country Song charts. While the band has not charted anywhere since 1991, Exile has continued to issue albums into the 21st century. And I just want to come in here with the 21st century and so many bands covering your well-known song Kiss You All Over. How did you feel when you first heard the version of that famous boy band?
Now which version are you talking about?
Kiss You All Over. I totally hit a blank now. No Mercy. Sorry about that. So No Mercy covered Kiss You All Over. How did you feel? Because it's a total different approach, different genre.
Yeah, now I remember what you're talking about. And actually, we ran across that not too long ago. Actually, we like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with changing arrangements, and also I think it got the song to a different audience, that it hadn't before. So yeah, there have been a few other versions by other artists, and I don't think we've heard any that we didn't like, and it's actually a good feeling that people want to copy your song. That's a good thing.
Yeah. With the music and harmonies you bring, September of last year, to be specific, was the 45th anniversary of Kiss You All Over. That in itself speaks volumes. How did the new album come together? I mean, with all the touring, the songwriting, or whatever you did with this new album coming together. And I think August the 25th of last year was the actual release date. How did it all come together?
Well, you alluded a while ago to the pandemic. We were off for a whole year. Everything canceled during, what was it, 2020? I kind of forget now. But so during that time period, the two main writers in our band, Sonny and JP, along with some other outside writers, they started writing music, using Zoom technology and all that sort of stuff. And then we actually started going into the studio and just a little bit at a time started working on a new album. And so we spent at least a couple of years, mainly during the downtime doing that, and finished the album last year. It's called A Million Miles Later, which is actually very apropos to the band because we've been actually quite a few million miles, traveling. And so we were lucky enough to be able to finish that and sign a record deal. And the album's done very well. We released a single in the States and actually in England and Europe last year called Rough Around the Edges. It did very well. It charted it was #1 on some charts around the country and around the world. And we have a brand new single that's just been out a couple of weeks. It's called After You. And again, it's off the same album. So we've been busy, and as a matter of fact, we're getting ready to start on another album, for the next couple of years. So I think the important thing to us is we want to keep busy and we want to keep moving forward. We don't want to just be a band that just goes out and plays our hits and kind of goes through the motions. We still love playing, and we want to always keep ourselves interested, which I think is very important.
I'm going to conclude just with I want to kiss you all over. Just by asking you, do you ever get do you ever get tired of this song? I mean,
well, no, I don't. And the reason being, whenever we play the song live, the first couple of chords we hit, the crowds always just go crazy. And, with that kind of reaction, you can never get tired of it, So the song's been very good to us. So we certainly can't complain about that.
Okay, that obviously being your signature song, but surely you must think, guys, we do have other songs as well.
Yeah, but you also have to remember, as you mentioned, we have 10 other #1 country songs and some other top 20. So during our show, we do almost every song we do is one of our hits. So there's other stuff to listen to as well. So it kind of keeps you from getting bored with the rest of the show. Let's put it that way.
You touched and you mentioned on country, which is an interesting point, and I don't think a lot of people know that technically Exile is a country band.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like to categorize ourselves that way. Of course, the way country music's changed, it's hard to say what is country music anymore, or what is rock music. It's kind of all the same anymore. I would consider us a country rock band, maybe similar to the Eagles. We get compared to them a lot. And so really in the States, we're probably looked on as more of a country band, while in other parts of the world, and including South Africa, I think we're looked at as more of a rock and roll band. And I don't know if I'm sure you're aware of it. Back in 1980 and maybe 1982, we did tour South Africa quite extensively, and one of the highlights of our career. What a beautiful country. We had a wonderful time.
That actually brings me to my next question. When are we going to see you again?
Well, let me put it this way: if there are any promoters listening who has a lot of money and wants to bring us there, we really would love to come back, because it's one of the highlights of.
I'm going to make a few calls. I'm telling you, after this interview, I'm going to make a few calls.
Right, because we did have a lot of pop hits in South Africa, and as I say, we toured around a lot of different cities all over the country, and we talk about it from time to time. We would love to come back,
yes,
if we could survive the long airplane flight again. But I think we can deal with that.
Well, sure. You back then you played with and I speak under correction. You played with Ballyhoo.
Yeah, they were a great band, and a couple of the guys, Fergie, as a matter of fact, Fergie Ferguson, I still keep in touch with him from time to time on Facebook. Pardon me. They were a great band, and they were great guys, and it was great. It was great fun to tour with them.
This documentary and live in concert TV specials, if you don't mind telling our listeners more about that.
Pardon me, my allergies are kind of kicking in.
No problem.
Um, um, last year, the in the States we have, it's called PBS, Public Broadcasting, which is a network around the country, and the Kentucky branch of PBS called KET approached us wanting to do a documentary about the history of the band, since there aren't many bands that have been around that long. So they spent a few months interviewing us, traveling with us, filming concerts and that sort of stuff. And then this spring, I believe it was in March, they released on KET two different things. There's an hour documentary. It's interviews and videos and old photos and that sort of stuff about the band. And then also they filmed a 1 hour concert or segments from a concert that we did last year. So there are two different programs which are being made available actually all throughout the country in the next few months. And frankly, I don't know if you could get a copy of it there, but I'm sure if you Googled it at some point, you might be able to get it. But we were actually very thrilled to have that done, and it's a great tribute to the band, and it's we feel great about having the documentary and everything done last year.
Another point that stands out on my notes here, and that is the collaboration with the Climax Blues Band. Tell us about that.
Yeah, great band. Had two of the great hits back in the '70s. And about 2 years ago, we were on a cruise. It was called the Rock and Romance Cruise, and it was mainly groups from the '70s and the '60s and '70s and '80s. And we actually shared a stage with the band. We would go on before them one night, and then we'd go on after them another night. And sort of hanging out backstage, we became friends and loved hearing each other's. We'd go see their show, and they'd come and see our show. And so afterwards, we kept in touch. And then last year, they reached out to us and said, we have a new single coming out next year in England, and we'd like you guys to do vocals on it. So we said, of course, we'd love to. So again, through technology, they sent information over to us in the studio here, and we did background vocals on a song of theirs. And it's a single which unfortunately I've forgotten the name, but it's a single which is going to be released by them in England pretty soon. We don't know the exact date because that's really all up to them. But it's a great song, and it was quite a thrill because they're one of our favorite bands ever. So it's one of those cool things when you run across other artists and get to work with them. It's always a lot of fun.
I just want to, if you don't mind, quickly come back to South Africa and again, speaking under correction, but there's some connection with the band and South Africa, family members, friends, manager, producer. No?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. We actually made a lot of friends there, okay. and there are actually a couple of people in the business who are from South Africa who are actually involved in country music business, and we keep up with them. We, over the years, developed some personal contacts with people who may have eventually, come to America. So I personally feel a great sort of relationship with South Africa. I've had personal relationships with people there, and just wonderful people. So without getting too specific, we do have a lot of connections to South Africa for sure.
Okay, wonderful. Now your mega hit "Kiss You All Over" was #1, 4 solid weeks. Spent 23 weeks on the charts. Exile toured with Kenny Rogers, the Judds, Aerosmith, the Oak Ridge Boys, Fleetwood Mac. You've also played the Grand Ole Opry over 113 times. Now it's a million miles later. It's available now. It's been available. There's the new single After You. There's the documentary, live in concert TV specials. And again, I'm going to ask and hint before I let you go to have your morning tea uh, touring
Actually,
touring South
actually,
Africa.
actually, coffee here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to
Okay,
have a sip right.
nice strong coffee. Wonderful.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
hopefully we will manage to get someone to bring you to South Africa. We would love to see you.
Yeah, and I think we may have some promoter friends over there. So anyway, we're always open to that. You know, we have been through the years, and it would be great to come there. You know, one more time before we finally hang it up. Which we don't have any plans to hang it up. I mean,
Yeah.
luckily the
Don't.
five of us are in good health, and we still enjoy touring. So you know, why not? Why stop? You know, what are we going to do when you retire? So might as well just
Yeah.
keep doing it.
Thank you for not stopping. Thank you for keeping the music alive. Thank you for sure all the memories and the songs that have made memories. And again, thank you for just continuing and sending our love here from Bulk Radio in Cape Town, South Africa, to you and your family and your bandmates. And please keep safe and keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you again.
All right, thank you, and cheers to everyone there, and hopefully we'll get to see each other again at some point. Cheers.
Absolutely. Cheers. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Take care.